Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, does not cost anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a timeless reading. This energy was activated the moment you clicked on this video. Try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the Holy Fool. I think you're somebody right now who is, you're in this kind of creative flow state, right? And I think that you are surprising yourself just as much as you're surprising everybody else. I think you really like surprises, especially the good ones, you know, the positive ones, the happy ones, the ones that kind of show you who you are. Because the Fool is, you know, it's a big fat zero. It's empty. It's just pure consciousness, right? And so when we're going into a situation with no bias, no prejudice, with no preconceived assumptions, no idea of what it is or who we are, and we're just doing the thing, then what we produce, what we do, our performance, our the outcome, our behavior, right, kind of gives us a glimpse into what's really going on in there, you know, without the conscious mind interfering with what we're doing or what we're building or kind of what's coming out of us. Yeah. It shows us truly, I think, a more accurate picture of what we're all about. It gives us a little bit of data by which we can know ourselves. All right. I like the Fool very much. We have to put this into some context. The Fool is right now just pure consciousness. Doesn't really mean a lot without some other cards around it. I mean, the Fool is everything, right? But nothing at the same time. So let's see what's going on here. This is a great way to begin. I like this. Are we perhaps starting something brand new? Ooh, there's the Hierophant as well. And this really could be that combination where it is we are learning about ourselves and learning about the world. You know, the Hierophant being sort of an educator type of energy. 3 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles. Here we have a Prince of Cups and a Queen of Cups. Very, very nice. A 9 of Swords. Yeah, that makes sense with our 7 of Pentacles here. But then we've got the Fool and we've got the World. We got the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. We have the 6 of Swords in this position is very interesting too. And of course, the Death card. Complete transformation, evolution, the steady process of change, right? This is the nature of nature. This is the fundamental force of the universe. And that's sort of the outcome here, I think, is that you are growing and evolving in your life as you learn more and more about yourself. And I think this is really good energy, especially that 6 of Swords. I like it that it's in this position. This is the position of the obstacle, the difficulty, the fear, worry, and concern. We'll talk about that. But let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we're going to set it down right here with everyone's favorite Tiny Bob Ross right on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. But it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this program you feel like you might know what that card is, please put your prediction, your guess, your hunch down in the comments below. All right, let's take a look around the room here. We have some good major arcana energies. We have the Fool by way of the Hierophant, sort of becoming the world or experiencing the world, creating the world, right? Creating reality, both internal and external reality. By discovering who you are and what essence is flowing through you. What work is within you that needs to be expressed in the authentic way you are creating your reality. Okay, internal and external reality. And you're continuing that process of evolution, as a spiritual being, infinitely into the future. Okay, future lives even, right? We're setting the seed, we're sowing the seed for future lives even right now. Okay, so I like the major arcana that we have. We don't have any fire because you're not in a conflict-oriented mode. You're not trying to interfere with the process of discovering who you are. You're trying to be almost a passive witness to what life is teaching you. In other words, the conscious mind, the ego consciousness is not trying to interfere with this process of flow, this process of creation. Okay? We're trying not to edit our self, our flow, the divine light that's flowing through us. We're trying not to edit that or interfere with that or block that or distort that in any way. Right? So there's some water energy, and it's the flow that's coming out of you, that essence, that expression, right? With really no filter right now. Okay? And we do see that water energy, the authenticity, the depth of your sort of the depth of your experience, of your emotional experience. Okay? Which, as we look at the air energy over here, it feels like and the earth energy, it feels like your emotional experience right now has not been a very positive one. I think the last 2 or 3 months have been a struggle. Okay? But I think the next couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, are going to be absolutely amazing for you. I think such positivity. So again, no fire, we have water, we've got air, we've got earth. Okay, we've got heart, we've got mind, we've got behavior, we've got, material world, physical reality stuff. Okay? And I think it is by these efforts that you are learning what you think and what you feel. You're learning about who you are. I think your true self emerges when we allow our creative energy to flow forth from us in an authentic way without editing, without censoring it. It's kind of like, you just put all of your words down on paper. You're writing in your journal. Okay, this is, I was listening to Rick Rubin, and he was talking about every creative act. Think of it like you're just writing in your journal. Well, it could be music, it could be dance, it could be acting, it could be writing, it could be, any painting, it could be any kind of creation, right? But think of it as a journal entry, and then you don't have to censor yourself. You don't have to edit it. If you know the world is going to see it, you're going to restrict and restrain yourself, right? But if it's just for you, if it's just your journal, you can burn it afterwards if you want. I don't feel like you are. I feel like if anything, you're going to immerse it in water and, it's going to dissolve in water. But you're writing just for yourself. You're doing this just for yourself. No one else has to see it. Let it all come flooding out of you like a river, right? And then you can edit it later, right? And that's kind of our Six of Swords. That's our obstacle here. That's the fear, worry, and concern. This is what we're trying to avoid. This is the card we don't want right now. We don't want the Six of Swords because we don't want to edit what is flowing forth from us. And because this is a method for you to know yourself, this is a process by which you're going to come to find out more about who you are and why you're here, what your essence is, what is it that's inside of you that's trying to get out. Okay? So with the Hierophant here, I feel like you're learning more about who you are. The Fool is kind of saying that we're almost starting from a blank slate. We're trying to put aside our heart, our mind, and our past behaviors. We're trying to just wipe the slate clean and say, okay, I'm ready now. Like, I want to learn who I am. I want to know what I'm all about. Okay. With the Hierophant here, it's possible that you are either seeking out a mentor or a teacher of some kind, that perhaps you're looking for some sort of guidance. It could be like literally in real life, looking for a mentor or a teacher or a guide, a spiritual guide of some kind. But it could be that you are trying to invoke your truest self to be your guide, and to teach you about yourself. Okay. I feel in a lot of ways going from Fool to the Hierophant is you beginning something new, beginning a process, beginning a new skill, learning something, starting a new business, starting a new course at university, trying to learn a new sport or a new hobby or something like this, right? Develop something that you've never done before. Maybe you're exploring a new avenue of creative effort, okay? And of course, when I say creativity, I don't just mean like you're painting or you're a musician or something. I feel like we're all artists of life, right? I feel like you're starting that journey now, okay? And I think in the next couple of weeks, you're going to reach a level of proficiency at this that really is going to confirm for you that this is the right path, okay? But there are some caveats there, okay? The Fool can become the master, okay? The Fool can become the magician, which is what tarot's all about, Fool to magician. Card 0 to card 1, that's it, that's tarot, okay? But we have the Hierophant here, which says that there's a lot of learning that needs to be done. If you're going to reach that level of mastery and become the magician, become the architect of your reality, there's some stuff you got to learn. There's some wisdom that needs to be imparted to you. And I think it is wisdom that comes from your own truest self, but it may come through the medium of other people, of other experiences, of teachers and guides along the way. I think in life, we encounter many, many teachers. At the time, we don't always recognize them as teachers, okay? I think you are definitely beginning something new, and you will, through this process of education and learning and the development of knowledge and wisdom and understanding, you will come to master whatever this is that you've started, okay? The caveats here, next couple weeks, let's say the next couple weeks are going to be really, really important for you, okay? You've got to start the work. You've got to do it. The Three of Pentacles is very important. This is a card called work. Get to work. Okay, it's Mars in Capricorn. This is basically just start doing it. I don't care if you don't know anything about it. Just start doing it, right? You don't have to begin from a place of education. You don't have to begin from a place of skill. It's kind of like you don't wait until you're already in shape to go to the gym, right? That old kind of funny, joke. You got to get in shape first before I can go to the gym here. No, you just go. You just do it. It's kind of saying like, well, you know what? I got to get in better shape before I can run, before I can lift weights and stuff. I'm not conditioned for that stuff. Just start doing something now, right? Begin the process in some way. Whatever you think, not even whatever you think. Whatever spontaneously comes out of you as an idea, right? From this a pre-verbal place, right? We're not thinking about it. We're not trying to intellectually grasp an answer here. We're just trying to let the body just start doing something. Move the body, right? Whether it's painting or writing or some kind of dance or some kind of music stuff, or it's a skill or it's a martial art, just start doing the thing. Okay? Just start doing the thing. And when we start working in this way, this is kind of the idea of we're producing something. You're producing some effect in the physical world. I'm not saying that you have to produce an object, right, of value. It's not that kind of a production. But this is saying that you are expressing yourself through your physical body. Now, the Three of Pentacles could be speech. It could be music. It could be dance. It could be painting. It could be, any kind of expression. It doesn't have to be, okay, I created a product, here you go. No, it's the way that you're expressing yourself in the physical realm. In a very, in a sensual way where other people can witness it. Not that they are going to, it's for you. Remember, it's just your journal entry. But in a way that it is perceivable through the senses. Okay? And that's the Three of Pentacles. It doesn't mean that it has to be a job. This could be gardening. This could be you just reading books. This could be you fixing mechanical things around the house. This could be you learning electrical stuff or plumbing or like installing satellite dishes. I don't know. My dad used to do that for a long time, installing those really big satellite dishes. Remember, they were like 6 feet diameter in your backyard. My dad used to install those way back in the day. But anyway, that's what work is, right? It's whatever you're burning calories doing, all right? And this is underneath the surface. So this is some kind of physical activity or physical world, behavior, not necessarily a performance, but some sort of work, right? That is under the surface of your consciousness. This is what wants to come out of you. This is your creative drive. It's Mars and Capricorn, remember? It's something that's kind of bursting at the seams, wants to come out, whether it's through dance or singing or writing or business, right? Or teaching even. Maybe that Hierophant is about you also, being, stepping into kind of a teaching role in your life. Okay? Spirit's saying that the financial stuff is going to improve. Now, the Seven of Pentacles in the background here, it's saying that there have been some financial difficulties lately. Okay? Things that we've been involved with have kind of fallen short. Things haven't really panned out the way we've wanted them to. There's been a ringing in your ears for some reason. I almost feel like it's like pressure in your head or something, right? Maybe it's congestion. I feel like and that's kind of, we're getting close to that Nine of Swords over here. So I think there has been some difficulties, okay? And I think that maybe the Seven of Pentacles is a few endeavors that we've participated in that really haven't panned out, that haven't, things that we thought, well, maybe I'll try this. And we go and we try that, and we just, for whatever reason, it doesn't seem to work. We don't really vibe with it. We can't get into the flow. I think we end up interrupting it with some of this air energy. Right? That we're sort of, these are things that we've thought too much about. When you reason it through and you think something through too much and we say, yep, I've determined logically that that's a good idea. And then we'll go and we'll do that. And then the way we feel about it is kind of like, wow, that wasn't a good idea. Right? Because intellectually, I think we're trying to bring everything into the realm of science and logic and sort of rational choices here, and so this is the conscious mind, really the ego consciousness interfering with what's trying to be expressed, I think through the body in some way, right? And so these are things that we've tried, and it's just like, I don't feel right about that. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like this is really for me. Okay. So I think there have been probably a series of these sorts of things that we've tried, and we've sort of thought about it, and we said, I'm gonna try that out. I'm gonna investigate that, and I think that we've had a bit of a feeling about it. But what about that Prince of Cups up there? That's authenticity, right? This is the way that you're able to, I think, judge what is correct for you based on based on an emotion, really, right? And it's kind of like, let's say there's two emotions. There's love and there's fear, It could be that we're able to perceive in some sort of almost an intuitive way, okay? We don't have to define those emotions, because that brings us back into the realm of the Swords cards, right? Back into the realm of this air energy. So I think when you're performing anything, and now we're looking at this in a vertical fashion. When you are doing this Mars and Capricorn work, whatever the work is, right? How you are learning about yourself is really not so much by what you're producing, but by how it feels as you're doing that work. Okay, and it doesn't mean that, you're doing something that's strenuous and your body says, well, I'm tired and I don't like it, or I'm bored, and therefore this must not be for me, right? Because again, that's sort of, that's us intellectualizing the senses of the body, really. But the Prince of Cups is more about that intuitive gut feeling, almost an instinctual kind of thing that just says, you know what, this is hard work. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe I'm sore. My muscles hurt. I got that elbow pain thing from whatever, and my back, my neck. But it feels right. It feels like this is something that, it's like your soul feels good. Even though the body and the mind and the heart may be tired, but the soul feels good here. And that's kind of a checking in with that authenticity. And I think this is what really teaches us the most about ourselves, is how we, I don't even want to call it a feeling, but it's that feeling of authenticity that teaches us whether or not what we're doing right now is correct for us. Okay? And I think when we've been doing this, we've been feeling this Nine of Swords. Okay. And the Prince of Cups is trying to stay true to that feeling, not be influenced by other people, not be influenced even by any of the Swords cards, right? Which represent both our thoughts, and the Swords cards represent our connection with other people, the exchange of information with others. So we're trying not to interfere mentally, intellectually with our own flow, our own sort of work, performance, and how we are experiencing it in that pure fool way. And we're also not trying to be biased by other people's choices or their opinions about what we're doing or about what they're doing, We're trying not to take into account our relationships with other people. We're trying to just stay very pure here and say, is what I'm doing now, does this really feel right? Is this the thing? And even asking the question out loud is missing the mark, because then we're right back in that Swords energy. Okay, but I have to talk. That's kind of how this channel works, But just know that it is more of an instinctual gut feeling, maybe intuition or something, but it's not really verbal. We don't want to have to try to put it into words. Okay? It's that feeling of authenticity. Okay? It's that feeling of authenticity that's going to let you know that what you're doing right now is what you're meant to be doing. When we go horizontally and we take the failures, which little f failures, right? These things that have not panned out, the things that did not grow. We planted the seed, but they never grew, and that's okay. Because those taught us a lot about ourselves too. Okay, so we're learning from these little f failures, and we're learning to go deeper into ourselves and to continue like peeling the layers of the onion, continuing to dive deeper into this water to find the true self, to find what it is underneath all of our human consciousness at the very bottom of this deep lake here. What is it that is what work is in us that is trying to be expressed? Okay, and we may have to go through very many experiments, a lot of iterations of what we think is it. But, as we check in then with our Prince of Cups, we may say, this is not it. Okay, but we have to make sure that when we say that, we're not speaking from an ego consciousness point of view. And that's what's so difficult. That's why we have that Six of Swords in that position. So this is about us trying to get down underneath everything, underneath just the reflective surface level emotions. Just reflecting back to the world whatever it's giving us. Somebody sends some happy vibes, we send happy vibes right back. It's just a reflection. Somebody sends some negative vibes our way, and we're just negative vibes right back. It's just a reflection. We're trying to get deeper than that. We're trying to then penetrate through just the shallow end emotions, seeking pleasure, running away from pain, right? Because we don't want to judge the authenticity of our work based on those either the surface level or the shallow end emotions, right? Because then whatever we're putting effort into, if it feels good, it must be right for me, right? If it does not feel good, if I feel tired or bored, or if I feel discouraged, and then it must not be for me, right? Because we're chasing pleasure and we're running from pain. We want to go deeper than that. We want to go down into that very primitive part of ourselves where it's just like you just know if something is right for you. And the thing is too, and it's very it's very complex, really. It's very simple, but very complex, is that this Three of Pentacles is not just one thing. It's not saying, well, it's painting. I've discovered it. Yes, finally, it's painting. Job done. Whew. I can rest. Now, I know myself. All right, it's painting. No, because this is a Three of Pentacles. This is still potential. This is getting past those details. This is getting deeper than the actual details of painting or music or dancing or business or writing or, being of service, caring for other people or whatever the work is for you. This is the basic idea of doing your soul's work, right? So the way this is going to unfold to a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of Pentacles can change over time. And that, of course, brings us to that Death card too, the evolution, the slow and gradual change over the course of time. So we're tapping into this Three of Pentacles, but we know that the actual details of what we're going to do and what our behavior is, what our work is, what the physical manifestations of our authentic, creative energy is going to change over time. That's why I always say on this channel, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. What matters is how and why. Okay? If you're doing it in this authentic way and you're learning about yourself and you're developing your energy and you're getting out of the ego consciousness with it, then that's what's important. It doesn't matter if one day it's painting, the next day you're going to go and, volunteer at a hospital or work in a library. It doesn't matter what the expression of it is. What matters is that it's an authentic expression of what is inside of you, what is flowing through you. It's a process. It's a flow. It's not a finite thing. It's not an object. It's not a state. It's a verb, right? And it's always in the going and not in the. It's not something that we can just identify and lock it in and say that's it. Painting. That's it. That's the thing. It's going to change and grow over time as the Three unfolds into manifestation. Right now, this is not yet manifested. Right? It's a Three. It does not manifest until it gets to the 4. So, Path of the Serpent, let's talk about this. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. Right. The Nine of Swords, this could be a lot of fear. This could be despair. This is kind of the worst negative emotion we could think of, right? And if there are only two emotions, it's either love or fear. This is that kind of fear. Maybe it's fear that we will never know ourselves. Maybe it's the fear that we will never bring forth that which is within us. Okay? But I think that this is the past energy for you. I think that you have wiped the slate clean, and that Fool is sort of overriding this. It's kind of like we just are leaving this behind, and we're saying, I'm stepping out of this, and I'm going to, in some ways, try to shut off that ego consciousness. Maybe it's really a matter of choosing love, choosing self-love, right? Especially with the Queen of Cups, this is radical self-love. Choosing love instead of fear. Going forward with love and compassion and empathy for ourselves and for the world, rather than this kind of fear. See, this is a Mars energy too. This is Mars and Gemini. This is some serious Mars energy that will split the mind apart. This is some serious Mars energy that is going to climb up the mountain no matter what. So it's kind of like the one way that and they say this, I think, I've heard this before, the one way you can combat such negative emotions or this kind of despair or misery or depression even. One way to combat this is through physical expression, physical activity. Just do something. Lying in bed isn't going to work. Sitting around just sort of marinating in this energy is not going to work. What will work is getting up and doing something, having the Fool just sort of get up and start expressing yourself. Whether it's through dance, music, or exercise, or writing, or maybe you run, maybe you like to walk or ride a bicycle. Sort of getting back to work. Getting back to work. And I don't mean just sort of like force yourself to go to your job and stuff. Maybe that That's part of it. Okay. Because this Nine of Swords is very much connected with the Seven of Pentacles. And these two together, yeah, that's, it's hard to not be discouraged. And maybe that's underestimating it, but it's difficult not to be discouraged when we're experiencing the Seven of Pentacles. It starts to feel like a Nine of Swords, starts to feel like anything I do is going to be just terrible. It's going to be wrong. It's going to be painful. Okay. But I do believe it's a choice here. Okay. And I do believe that you're beginning something new, and you're going to master it. You're going to reach a level of expertise in this field. That's going to feel really, really good. Okay. I think in the next 2 weeks, it's very important that you start this and you devote as much time, effort, energy, and or money to it as you can. Otherwise, I feel like we're sinking down into this. Okay. The world or universe card in the position of your environment, we realize that we're creating our world. And if we've already been in this Nine of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, we've created a world that sort of resembles that, right? If this is your state of mind for long enough, that's going to be your reality. That's what you're going to perceive outside of yourself. So this is the universe that can either be on top of us, or we could be on top of the world. This could be a universe that is sort of cold and ugly and hostile and full of pain and misery, right? Or this could be something else. And I think what we're doing is realizing that, I can be reborn in any moment. And that's kind of the Fool. The Fool's kind of like just a babe, right? Just fresh, I just got here. And that's part of our death card too. The idea that we can start over anytime we want. That we can choose to be reborn in this moment and choose love and choose self-love, choose authenticity, choose compassion, choose to get up and do, get up and create, right? And create our world starting now. Okay, that we can leave all the past stuff behind. And it is by doing this work that we are creating this world. And what kind of world are you creating? Okay, so the next 2 weeks are going to be very important for you because you're sort of setting the tone for whatever this new path is for you. And the new path doesn't have to be like a new job or a new activity, right? The Fool energy, this renewal, this rebirth, in essence, right, is a rebirth of mind. It's kind of like that we're extricating ourselves from this kind of misery, right? We're extricating ourselves from this, and we're choosing to be reborn right here, right now. And we're choosing to leave that behind, and we're choosing to get back to doing what our soul is trying to get us to do, whatever it is. Maybe it is something brand new. Maybe it is continuing the efforts that you've already been doing with that feeling of authenticity, not letting the mind interfere. We're choosing to transcend. We're choosing to sort of wipe the slate clean. Right? If this is fear, if this is anger, frustration, animosity, if this is grudge, we're choosing to let all of that go in order to create the universe that we want to live in. We want a universe that is supportive and loving and warm and beautiful and teeming with life, right? And so that's what we have to sort of begin. There's no better time than right now. We can choose to be reborn in this very moment. Okay? And start building the world that we want. Okay, to get back to the work of building our reality. Yeah. The one thing that we do want to avoid, of course, is this Six of Swords, and this is kind of like the having too much mind, right? Being too mindful of what we're doing. In other words, it's sort of verging on self-consciousness. The Fool is sort of thoughtless, right? And that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, right? We don't want to be inconsiderate. We don't want to really be thoughtless, but the Fool is taking no consideration for themselves. The Fool is just pure energy, pure consciousness, right? Allowing the creative ideas to flow, allowing the dance to just happen without having to, without imposing any kind of order on it. The Six of Swords would be like, a fool that just wants to dance, but now it's like, no, you can only dance a certain way. It's kind of like you want to play music, but then first it says, no, you have to know exactly the right chords to play. You're not allowed to be in that musical vibe until you know about chords and music theory and measures and structures and all this kind of stuff. It's like you can't create until you're able to read music, So we don't want to impose that kind of order on something because this kind of stifles that creative flow. It's the mind putting too many requirements on what we're doing. This is kind of like you're writing in your journal, but no, it has to be a certain structure. You have to have a certain amount of sentences, paragraphs. Your grammar has to be correct. We don't want everything to be a science right now. Right now it's about that free, creative, artistic, creative flow, not about the science, not about the editing, not about the structure, not about packaging it up for public distribution. That comes later. Right now it's just flow. It's just Fool energy. Just let it all come out. Doesn't matter what it looks like or what it sounds like or how it reads or how it looks on the page, right? No one's going to see it but you. You have time, plenty of time to edit it down and to sort of refine it. But right now it's a matter of just getting in that flow. Just dance. Just get up and do the thing, right? Get up and do the thing. Don't worry about the structure, the formal sort of restrictions, right? Because this is kind of like, this is saying that Fool has to only behave in a certain way. For it to be real, for it to really be dancing, right? It has to be some sort of a learned order of things, right? So this is also teaching and learning, but of a different kind. Okay, this is kind of taking an art and turning it into a science. And that's fine. We kind of want an art and a science together, right? As kind of a unified theory of creation, of manifestation, right? The art and science of manifestation. But right now you're focused on the art part, right? The art side of things, not the sciencey side of things. The Death card that we see at the end here is the evolution of your soul, the evolution of your work, the evolution of the Fool, really, right? And it is a card of letting go of the past and of being reborn. They should call this the rebirth card. Okay? And I think that we can choose to be reborn every single day. And we can choose every day to wake up and say, today is a brand new day. I'm going to get to work on my creative flow. And I'm going to see what comes out. I'm going to learn about myself through this process. And yes, maybe we'll get a few more Seven of Pentacles. That's okay. We can choose to be reborn every day. We can choose to learn from our experiences, learn about ourselves, and pursue a level of proficiency at something. But it's also talking about the evolution of whatever this is that you're doing. If this is dance, right? The way that you dance is going to evolve over time. The way that you play music or your guitar or the way you sing, your creative artistic expression is going to evolve and change over time as you learn more and more about yourself. Okay, so the Six of Swords is also there because we don't want to have any kind of fixed or rigid ideas about what it's supposed to be. It's like on this tarot channel. I have certain, set design, certain things on the table, certain order and way that I do things. And if I wrote all those down and said, these are the laws, these are the rules of my science, of my tarot channel here, right? There would be no evolution. It would get stale, it would get stagnant, it wouldn't feel authentic. Because things grow and change over time, not in a planned way. I don't have a calendar that says, okay, in 6 months now I gotta change the cards or the curtains or whatever, It just sort of happens organically. And that's part of like not censoring ourselves, not editing consciously, but letting ourselves evolve, letting our work evolve as it wants to, right? Let's look at the mystery card. I want some really good water energy. I want 6, 9, 10 of cups. I think maybe it'll be the art card, though. The temperance card, your superpower card. Let's see. Oh, the Empress. That was my first guess, but I don't think I said it out loud. But anyway, this is absolutely perfect, because this is saying that the quality of your life is going to really depend on your blood, sweat, and tears. You're putting all of your work into creating a universe that you want. This is that universe. And it is through this death and rebirth process that we are building this world. And this is a world that is loving and supportive. You take care of it, it'll take care of you. This is what you're putting in work to create. This is the good life. This is the good life. This is a very creative energy. It's a very nurturing energy. And in a way, it's sort of saying that we have to create the right environment for ourselves where we can feel cared for and safe, that we can express ourselves. It's kind of like, you're in the safety of your own journal, your own diary. You can write whatever you want in there. No one's going to see it, right? So we have to give ourselves that safe space that we can explore our creative energy in whatever form it takes. This is that good life that we're creating. This is a universe that is not cold and ugly and hostile. It is teeming with life and love. When you love yourself and you love the universe, this is the result. Okay? When you go the other way, this is the result. Okay? I like this very much. I think the next couple of weeks are going to see just a major shift, a stunning shift in your consciousness and in your experience of life and the work that you do. I think things are really coming together for you. I like this a lot. We're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an I Ching reading. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Sagittarius, Wednesday and Sunday. Be sure to watch both readings. This is a major celebration. This is major. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.